Okay, today's lesson is going to be on simple squeezes. A simple squeeze is one in which you are squeezing only one opponent at a time. In its most basic form, you're squeezing one opponent, you're trying to gain one trick. And I want to look at this example. A squeeze normally happens at the end of the hand. You are down to 3 cards in each hand, and you are in the south hand. You have the ace of clubs as a winner. You have 2 out of the 3. You have winners in 2 out of the 3 last cards. And what you want to do is to see if you can squeeze your left-hand opponent such that you will be able to get all 3 of the tricks. So the simple squeeze is always against one opponent. And in this case, you see that West holds all the big cards. When you play the ace of clubs, what is West going to do? If West throws the ace of hearts, now you throw your jack of spades. And now you're going to win the king of hearts and the ace of spades. When you play the ace of clubs, if she throws either the king or the queen of spades, now you throw your king of hearts, lead your spade, and your ace, jack of spades is going to take the last 2 tricks. So if you don't do the squeeze play, you're guaranteed you're going to get 2 of the last 3. But if you execute the squeeze play properly, then you see that you have her squeezed, you have West squeezed. If she throws the ace of hearts, you keep your king of hearts and you throw your jack of spades. Now you're going to get the ace of spades and the king of hearts. If she throws, when you play the ace of clubs, if she throws the king of spades, now you throw your king of hearts and your ace, jack of spades will take the last 2 tricks and you get all 3 of them. So that, in a nutshell, is the simple squeeze. It's a squeeze against one opponent. You're trying to gain. You have 2 of the last 3 or 3 of the last 4, whatever number of cards you have left at the end, and you're just trying to gain that extra trick. That can be really important if you are playing in a high-level contract in which you don't see any other way that you can make the contract. Then you try to do the squeeze play. Or if you're in match play hand, you try gaining that extra trick will sometimes give you the 90 to 95% score on the hand. Yes, Preston?
If you could, it looks like this meeting is being recorded is over your screen.
You're not seeing, are you seeing?
I'm not seeing the cards. I'm seeing a sign that said this meeting is being recorded.
And what do I need to do? David?
I think if you hit the continue button, it'll go away.
And where is
You can't see it on your screen then.
No, I don't see anything.
So I think you,
can you hit it,
I think you
Preston?
need to hit the continue button.
I got it.
It's okay with.
I got it. All done.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Is everybody good? Can everybody see the hand? We're good. All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Preston. All right. So the whole key is when you're trying to squeeze this opponent, the key factor is that you've got to make West discard before you do, before you play something from the dummy. You're watching what he discards, and then you know what you need to discard from the dummy. All right, let's look at the next hand. In this hand, you are down to 4. You are down to 4 cards in each hand.
Carol, how did you know that West had the cards you needed and not East?
Because you're the declarer and you're watching.
Okay.
And you just have to hope he does have them all. And if West had bid, it would come from your bidding, and it would come from all the cards that had been played before that. And you don't know for sure, but you are hoping this is the way it is. You're getting,
Okay.
in this top example, you're guaranteed 2 of the last 3.
Right.
You're just trying to see, is there a way I can get all 3 of them? And as I say, it might possibly be that this guy over here on the right has the ace of hearts. But even so, you're just trying to give yourself a chance to make that extra trick, if it is possible. And if the holding were as it is, and you don't know for sure it is, then you are going to get all 3 tricks. You see how that worked. All right, let's come down to this second example. Example 2, we have 4 cards. Again, you are hoping that West has all the big stuff, and I've made the example out so that it will be that way. So in example 2, West holds all the important cards. We call the important cards busy. You see that where I have it written down, busy, B-U-S-Y cards? Busy cards are the important cards that you don't want to have to discard. They are the winners. So West has all of the busy cards. He really doesn't want to discard anything, does he? So when you cash the ace of clubs, you're in your hand, you cash the ace of clubs. Now he can throw either the king or queen of spades. When you cash the ace of clubs, West can throw either his king or queen of spades. Now he doesn't have a problem until you cash the king of clubs. Now what's he going to do? So you see he's squeezed because if he throws the other high spade, you can toss your jack of hearts, and now your ace of hearts and your nine of spades take the last tricks. So you see when you play the ace of clubs, he throws, let's say he throws one of the spades. When you play the king of clubs, if he throws the other high spades, trying to hang on to his king and queen of hearts, now you throw the jack of hearts and you go over to the ace of hearts, and now the nine of spades is good. So you get all the tricks. Let's say that when you play, if he throws the king of hearts, now you can toss your nine of spades and you're going to get all the rest of the tricks. So any way that no matter what he discards, you are going to be able to get all 4 of the last tricks. So I'm going to let you lay that out and look at it if you don't see it right away, but I think you will. The thing that South, the declarer, has to be sure of, down there, that last sentence, when this situation occurs, we say the count has been rectified. The opponent to be squeezed must hold all important cards. They are known as the busy cards. He does in this particular example, he has the king, queen of hearts and king, queen of spades in more than one suit. The declarer has to lose all of the losers but one. So that's what we call the count has been rectified. So the declarer in this example has lost all but one trick. He has 3 of the last 4 cards. He's now just trying to squeeze the left-hand opponent to see if he can't get all 4 of them. The key here is to make the West hand discard before you play from the dummy. So again, if you play the ace of clubs, he plays either the king, queen of spades. Then when you play the second club, if he now splits and goes back and plays the king of hearts, you will know which card you need. The first time, you don't have to throw anything to the dummy because you have the 4 clubs. The key play is when you play the king of clubs, the second club, what's going to happen. And you watch the discard and you will know whether you need to keep your heart and your spade. If he throws both spades, now your ace of hearts, you throw your jack of hearts, your ace of hearts takes, and your nine of spades takes. If he should throw one spade, and then the second club, he throws a heart, and now you have him, you throw your nine of spades, and your ace, jack of hearts takes the last 2 tricks. So it's a matter of just watching. And Diane, that was a very good question. You don't know that they're going to be like this, but if they are, you're giving yourself a chance to get all 4 tricks. Now coming down to where I have note here, if you're going to try to squeeze an opponent, and it's always going to come near the end of the hand, you're going to try to squeeze an opponent, you cannot let them have what we call an idle, IDLE card in their hand. We have busy cards. Busy cards are the big winners that they don't want to have to throw. They're winners. If they have to throw one of them, then they don't have a chance to win with that trick. The idle cards are when you're running a suit or you're trying to make them discard, if they still have a card in their hand that won't hurt them to throw, that they can discard. Now this next example, example 3, will show you that situation. In this example, you're down to 4 cards again, and you want to try to squeeze your left-hand opponent. She has all the busy cards. She has that king, queen of diamonds. Those are busy cards. They are normally going to win a trick. If you play this thing the normal way and you don't try to squeeze, she's either going to get the king of diamonds or the queen of diamonds. She's going to get one of them. She should, of course, split her honors, and she will actually get a diamond trick. This example, when you play the jack of spades, you see that West can discard the Queen of Hearts. She's looking at the dummy. She sees no hearts in the dummy. She also has been watching the play of the hand, and she knows you have no more hearts. This is why it's so important to keep account of the declarer's hand, and you would know she has no more hearts. So it is safe for West, when you play the Jack of Spades, it is safe for her to throw away the Queen of Hearts. And now she's got you, because she's always going to get one of those diamonds. You cannot win all 4 tricks, because when you've tried to rectify your count, rectifying the count means to come down to all but one loser. You're not able to do so in this hand, because West is left with that idle card, the idle card being the Queen of Hearts. She sees no hearts in the dummy. She knows from your hand that you have no more hearts. She's watched the play of the hand. She's kept a count of what you've got. She knows she can safely throw the Queen of Hearts. And now she's always going to get a diamond trick. So the squeeze failed because West, the opponent you're trying to squeeze, had a card she could throw, that she could safely throw. All right, I want to look at a complete hand now. Let's look at the bidding of it first. You are in 4 spades. And let's look at the bidding first. The South is the opening bidder. South has 13 high card points, but wonderful spade suit. You're certainly not going to open 3 or 4 spades with that hand. You have opening count. You would open 1 spade with his hand. I think everybody probably, if they're not vulnerable, even vulnerable, would overcall 2 diamonds with West's hand. Now we come to North. North knows something that South doesn't know. North has sitting there with 14 high card points. She knows that this hand has to get the game, where it's going to be the game. She's got to keep making forcing bids, making sure that you get to game. So the 2 diamond bid is put in by West. At this point, she just simply bids 2 hearts. She's promising at least 5 hearts, and she's promising points. And certainly this is not 2 over 1 because of the interfering bid. But certainly South has to make another bid, because you never pass your partner as long as she keeps bidding a new suit. So she bids 2 hearts. A very enterprising bid comes in from East, putting up at 4 diamonds. But, you know, she's got a bunch of them. So, and if they're not vulnerable, that may be okay. We come back down to the South hand. She's really interested just playing spades. So she bids 4 spades, and that's where it plays. Okay, you get the ace of spades lead from the West hand. Dummy comes down, and let's look at the hand. It looks as if, with the spade suit, counting your losers, master hand is going to be the South hand. Counting your losers, you're hoping you do not have a spade loser. Now, you might have one. If there are 4 spades out to the Jack 10, doesn't matter who's got them. Either side got 4 to the Jack 10, you've got a spade loser. So you may have a spade loser. You have a heart loser. Looks as if you're going to have to lose that ace of hearts. She's led the ace of diamonds, which you can ruff, so you got the king of diamonds for a pitch if you need it. And when you come down to the clubs, you have no club losers. So the opening lead is the ace of diamonds, and I'm asking you, is there a play for 7 spades? There's a play for 7 spades. You're only in 4, but is there a play for 7 spades on this hand? There is, if you can execute the squeeze. So let's see how that might be. She leads the ace of diamonds, which you ruff. And then you want to play to the ace of spades. Get that out of the way. You see, you got to play that ace of spades as quickly as you can, because that's blocking pulling any more trumps. So once you trump the ace of diamonds, you go over to your ace of spades and you play it. And you can do the big side, because you see they both follow. So you know that your spades are not 4-0, and you know now that you do not have a spade loser. So you cash the king of diamonds. This is key. I'll come back to it later. When you're up there with the ace of spades, now cash your king of spades and maybe throw a heart, or it doesn't matter what you throw. I'd throw a heart, I think. Okay. Then you play a club to your king. Play a small club from the board, by 4 clubs, play it to your king. and run all the remaining spades, all 6 or 7 of the remaining spades, run them right now, watching the discards that they make. If the person who holds the ace of hearts also holds the 4th club, and if you're looking at West's hand right now, you see she does have the ace of hearts. She's probably marked with that because she overcalled 2 diamonds. She's marked with the ace of hearts. If she also has 4 clubs, what's going to happen to her? When you get down to playing that last spade, she's either got to throw the ace of hearts, which gives you the heart trick, or she's got to throw a small club, and then your club's all set up. So you see, you can execute a squeeze against left, the west. You can make 7 spades on this hand. Plays the ace of diamonds, you trump it. You lead a small spade to the ace, you cash your king of diamonds, and then a small club back to your hand, to your king of clubs. Run every single spade you have in your hand, watching the discards. If you're playing in person, you're going to notice that West is getting rather pained expression on her face because she has all of the busy cards. She has the ace of hearts. She also has the 4th club. So she either there, when you play that last spade, she's either going to have to dump her ace of hearts or she's going to have to, I suspect she's going to play the small club. And now you're home because you play your queen of clubs, you go to the ace of clubs, and the 4th club is set up and you make 7. So that's kind of exciting to see that. This is just an explanation of what I've just gone through. Now, how you can go wrong on making 7. If you're in your hand, let's say you do trump the ace of diamonds and you lead over to the ace of spades. If you make the mistake of leading a small heart, trying to squeeze in your heart, I've told you that early on in a hand, if you want to try to get a king or something like that, lead it early. Don't give them a time to get the count. If you make the mistake of trying to lead a small heart toward the king, you're going to lose a heart. In this case, you're only going to make 6. So you don't want to do that. You also need to cash the king of clubs, get it out of the way. I mean, the king of diamonds, and throw a heart out of your hand. She doesn't know you have a king. And then come back to your hand with the king of clubs. The key here is you have to play every one of your spades. You don't just cash a few spades and then run your clubs, because then she's going to have a chance to know. You have to play every one of your trumps, watching her discards. And then, of course, she's either going to have to throw her heart or she's going to have to throw her 4th club. The reason why she doesn't want to, of course, throw the 4th club is she's looking at the dummy. And, I've always told you, you want to try to keep parity with the dummy. She can't, when you come down to that last spade, she's either got to throw her ace of hearts. She can throw the 10 and the 7 of hearts. She can throw all of her diamonds. But she's either going to have to throw the club or she's going to have to throw her ace of hearts there at the end. So you make 7 on that hand. Now, you're not in 7. You're not in 6. But if you get that extra trick, I can guarantee you're going to get about 95, 98% on that board. All right, so if you are the defender and you think you might going to be squeezed, the problem is you don't know it. You don't know that you're going to be squeezed until near the end of the hand. You might realize that there's a possibility of a squeeze being put on you if you happen to hold all of the high cards. If you happen to hold big aces and kings and at least 2 suits, you might suspect that she's going to put a squeeze on you. Only things that you can do, but as I say, most of the time you don't realize it until it's too late. This is a post-mortem. You say, well, this is what I should have done, but you don't see it until after the fact. You can try to duck when the declarer wants you to take a trick. I've said you've got to rectify the count, whereby you get down to your last 3 or 4 winners. You have all but 1 loser. That's called rectifying the count. So maybe just duck taking a trick maybe just don't take that trick when she wants you to take it. It might thwart her plan to set up a squeeze. Or if you can know far ahead of time that there's going to probably be a squeeze, maybe try to take a entry off the board or whatever that she's going to need to execute that squeeze. Maybe it might be the ace of clubs, or it might be some entry that she might need to have to do the squeeze. So in conclusion, on the Squeeze plays, if you're in a high level, difficult to make contract, possibility of a squeeze on one opponent, the simple squeeze, might help you make that contract. If you're in match points and you make that extra trick, if you make 7 spades on that hand, you're going to get a really, really top board. Of course, there's always some pipsqueak in there that gets to 6 spades on the hand. And you say, well, how in the world they did it? But they did. Of course, the advanced players know how to do this. There are all kinds of squeezes. I just did the simple this morning, the basic. You can put a squeeze on both opponents. That's more difficult. You really got to be watching. You can't be asleep when you're trying to do that because you're watching. You have a squeeze on one opponent, you have a squeeze on the other. That's much more complicated. So later on, if we continue with lessons past maybe this year or maybe late this year, I can come back and do more on the squeeze play if you all are wanting me to do. Now, I want to finish up today by looking at the safety play, a little bit of safety play. Safety play is exactly what it sounds like it is. It's trying to protect against a bad break. If, for example, you have a suit and you have, say, 5 cards in one and the dummy, and you have 4 in your hand, and you want to try to win all 5, then you play it one way. If you need all 5, you're going to play. If you have the ace queen on the board, you're going to try to finesse that queen, hoping that the king X is over to your left. So it depends on how many tricks you need. If you need only 4 of the 5 to make your hand, then you don't want to take a chance of playing it incorrectly and losing 2 tricks, in which case you're going to have egg on your face and you're going to be the only one in the room that went down on the hand. So a safety play is when you can afford to lose 1 trick, but you can't afford to lose 2. You're trying and you're planning an analysis of the hand. When the dummy comes down, what can kill this hand? What can hurt me? If one opponent has 4 of my trumps to the queen jack or something like that, what is the safety play that I can do? So I want to look at a very simple example and go through it with you. Now, this will go against your grain. I'm sure it will, but I think you'll see the rationale in what I'm saying. All right, here's a very simple example. If you need all 5 tricks, you're going to play west to hold the king and another spade, a little spade, and you're going to finesse the queen. But let's say you finesse the queen and it loses to the king. So let's look at situation A. If you finesse the queen and the king takes, it might be a situation such as this. Okay, well, you're still all right. You just needed 4 of the tricks and you're not going to get 5. But let's see what might happen to you. And again, I want to point a defensive thing here. When that small club is led from the south's hand, this is a situation where you false card. You know, we're always talking about giving count. This is the time you have the jack 7-4. You do not want to give count to your partner. You want a false card. So I would play the 7, making it look like I have a doubleton. If you play the 4, she doesn't know if you got a singleton or maybe you've got all 3. That might be a clue to her to play the ace. She doesn't know. Okay, so here's a situation where you would want a false card if you are west. Not show that you have 3, but rather try to make the declare think you have actually 2. All right, so in situation B, if you come back to your hand and you finesse a second time, and it loses to the jack. Now here, you have lost 2 tricks. Note to the defender, when it's led the first time, try to false card. Here, you don't want to act like you've got a doubleton. You don't want to play the 7 and then the 4. It would be better to play the 4, trying to hoodwink South into thinking that you've got 3 of them. And she may then finesse the 10. She may actually do the double finesse, and if she does, she's going to lose to the jack. And that's when she is totally misguessed. She is totally misguessed, and she is going down in this hand. And it's going to be rather embarrassing. So the safety play that you make on this hand, if you haven't already guessed it, if you need 4 of the 5 tricks, and you've done your planning, what can hurt, what can cause you to go down in this hand? It would be if you misguessed on the suit and lost to both the king and the jack, as in situation B. The safety play is to play the ace of the suit. Let's say it's spades. Play the ace of spades, first trick. You're doing a safety play. I know it goes against your grain. You want to finesse that queen. But you have decided if there's a bad break, it's a bad situation, this is a time for a safety play. You would play the ace of spades. If, as in the first situation up there, situation A, the singleton king falls, now the rest of the tricks are yours. You would drop the singleton king in situation A. In situation B, if you drop, if in situation B, if you drop, she's not going to play the king, but when you play the ace, she would play the jack. Now your troubles are over because you only have one loser. You needed to make 4 of the 5 tricks to make your contract. So the only one you would lose would be the king. That's in situation B. If you laid the ace down, you drop it. She's going to play the jack. She's not going to play the king unless she misclicks or something. All right, but what happens when you play the ace and 2 little ones come falling down? You play the ace and the 4 or the 7 comes down and the 7 comes down from the other hand. Now what do? Now what you do is you come back to your hand, you get back to the south hand, and you're going to lead towards your queen 10. If it so happens that East has the king jack X, then you always were going to lose 2 tricks. You're going to lose to the king and the jack. There's nothing you can do about it. The safety play of the ace will help you when there's a singleton king. It will help you when the person on your right, well, it would be on your left, the East player has both the king and the jack. Now you're guaranteed to just lose 1 trick in the suit. If, however, East hand has king jack third, there's nothing you can ever do about losing 2 tricks. You're just trying to protect against a bad break when you do the safety play. Safety play in the above example again guarantees that you will make the contract if it is possible to make. In the event that East has the king jack third, then you always have 2 losers. The safety play protects you against a misguess if you finesse queen and then you tried to finesse the 10 and you lost 2 tricks. So it keeps you from losing 2 extra tricks when you can afford to lose only 1. Now, I say this, a safety play deliberately sacrifices 1 trick in order to run the least risk of losing 2 tricks. And sometimes when you don't make that safety play and you lose 2 tricks when everybody else is only losing 1 trick in the suit, you see you're going to get the bottom board. Final thing I would say is you can play for weeks and months here looking for a safety play, but I think just an hour or 2 just sitting down with 1 suit and laying those cards out and the different combinations that you might have, you can see when there might be a chance that you need to do a safety play. Safety plays are going to be very important in the play of no trump contracts. And I want to look at a couple because once I get through Lebensaal, we're going to be looking at play of no trump contracts. And very, very frequently, safety plays are used in the playing of a no trump contract. So let's look at this first example. South has 15 high card points. And I'm having her open a no trump. You could possibly open a spade with that hand and then rebid 2 hearts, but I think you're going to get to 3 no trump. I think 3 no trump is where you're going to get. And let's look at the play. The 2 of hearts is led. West leads the 2 of hearts, so immediately your ace of spades is gone. Your entry to all those wonderful, that huge long 6-card diamond suit is taken away from you at trick 1. If you thoughtlessly say, well, I got this in the bag, and cash the ace, king, queen of diamonds, and one of these guys has 4 of them to the jack, there ain't no way you're going to get back over there after she takes that jack to get the other 2 little diamonds. Do you see that? So a safety play here would be, after you've taken the ace of hearts, you're forced to take that, is to lead the 10 of diamonds, give them that jack of diamonds, and you see you still have another diamond in your hand, in the south hand. Once they take that jack of diamonds, they're going to lead something else. They're probably going to leave another heart. Now you have another diamond in your hand to get back over to the dummy to cash all the rest of the diamonds. So you're going to get 5 diamond tricks, the 2 hearts, the spade, and the ace of clubs, and you're probably going to get something else. One of those queens is finesses is going to work. But if you thoughtlessly, after you play the ace of hearts, if you say take all your chances on that jack is going to fall, and it doesn't, that's when the safety play comes in. What can destroy this hand? Somebody have one, either east or west, having 4 of them to the jack can destroy this hand. And so what you have to do is to just leave the 10 or the 9, doesn't matter. Give them a trick with their jack, and you still then have a diamond in your hand, either the 6 or the 3, to get back over there to cash the 5 diamonds. So that is the safety play, used very, very frequently in the play of no trump contracts. Okay, here's another one. You are in 6 no trump this time. And let's look at the bidding. If you look at the south hand, south has 24 big points. You're going to open 2 clubs with this hand. The north hand having 8 points. She doesn't want to explore. She has no 4-card suit. She's going to bid 2 clubs, and she's then going to bid 2 diamonds. And I think that you should now bid 3 no trump, not 2 no trump, because you have almost 9 tricks in your hand. And so when you do that, for some reason, she jumps up to 6 no trump. So you find yourself in a 6 no trump contract. And the opening bid lead is made of the queen of hearts. And let's look at your tricks. You have 4 spades. You have 2 hearts. You have at least 2 diamonds, and you have 2 clubs. That gives you a total of 10 tricks. Where are you going to get 2 more tricks to make 6? Well, you can't get but 4 in the spade suit. You can't get but 2 in the heart suit. And you can't get but 2 in the club suit. And you have 2 in the diamond suit. The only place you're going to get extra tricks is from that diamonds. And if you play the ace king, hoping that the queen is going to fall and you're going to get all those diamond tricks, you may go wrong. If one opponent has all 4 of the diamonds, the 4 diamonds that are out are the queen, the 10, the 9, and the 6. If you play it that way, you're going to lose 2 diamond tricks. You play cashing the ace king. If one of those opponents has 4 to the queen, 10, 9, 6, you are going to lose 2 diamond tricks. So the safety play here is you're on the board with the ace of hearts, play the 4 of diamonds. If east over here plays the 6, then you put the 8 in, and you have then protected yourself against the 4-0 diamond break. You're going to give them a trick early, and then the rest of, if what happens in this hand is that east does have all 4 of them, but you see by playing the 8, you get that trick, and then you just lead the small diamond back, give her queen, and then the rest of your hand is good, and you're going to make your 6 no trump. So we'll be looking quite a bit at safety plays when we go into the play of no trump contracts. Quite a bit more depth there at a later time. Okay, next week, I'm going to start Leading Saw part 1, and then the following week, part 2. I want to end up by looking at the assignment from last week. This was an assignment on dummy reversal. Chuck Rickinson, in a very, at the expense of Chuck, trying to make him look like teacher's pet. I do not mean to do this, but I've talked with Chuck about it ahead of time. I would like to get you all more involved in the hands, in the lessons. And so I thought Chuck did such a nice job of writing up how he would bid the hand, this is the hand that you had, how he would bid the hand, how he would analyze the hand, and then how he would play the hand. So Chuck, I'm going to turn it over to you now. So you may unmute yourself, and I'm going to let you take it away. And you tell me how. I do have down here the hand, and then I have down how you bid it. And then I have here your bidding notes as you bid it. And then I have how you analyze the hand, and then how you actually play the hand. So I'm going to start.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was going to say that in a sense, this was easy because as you note, it was similar to your example 3 last week. And essentially the bidding is identical and the analysis is identical. The only real difference is in the play, or at least that I noticed. So going through the bidding in the first place, if you go back to the cards, assuming, as you indicated, you're playing Flannery, well, let's see, that's 8, 12, 10, 18. You're going to bid, opening bid south is going to bid a heart. And north, assuming that that you're playing Flannery, is going to assume that you have 5 hearts and that you don't have 4 spades. So there's no point in coming back with 1 spade on this hand. This person is now going to bid 2 clubs because there's enough for a game and wants to have a 2/1 sequence. South hand now, in response, having 4 clubs, is going to say 3 clubs. And the north hand, in response, is now going to show the support for the hearts and say 3 hearts. Hearts is now the agreed suit. So South is interested in exploring for slam. And from what you said, the cue bidding is for first or second round controls. South will now bid 3 spades because we have an agreed suit, and now South is showing a first or second round control in spades. North will bid 4 clubs, showing a first or second round control in clubs. South will bid 4 diamonds, showing a first or second round control in diamonds. Well, now North knows that there's first or second round control in all 4 suits. And here's what you taught us last week. We're going to, rather than bidding straight ahead key card Blackwood, you bid kickback Blackwood, which is done by bidding 1 more than the 4 level of your agreed suit. So your agreed suit is hearts. So to ask for key cards, you will bid 4 spades. The south hand now, counting up key cards and hearts, has 1, 2,
Chuck,
3 key.
Chuck,
What?
I should have king, queen, jack of hearts there. You see, I have the ace of hearts in both hands. It should be, I'm sorry, I mistyped. So, but go ahead. You see what I did? I should have had the king, queen, jack of hearts instead of the ace of hearts in both hands. So go ahead. Do you see what I did? I mistyped the hearts in the south hand.
Hearts. I'm going to bid the final step, which would be 5 spades to show that I have, 5 hearts to show that I have the king, that I have 2 key cards and the queen. And then North can take it to 6 hearts because that's all the missing key cards and the queen. Did I get that right? I'm not looking at my bidding. So.
I am the one who messed up. Instead of having the ace, king, jack of hearts, I should have had the king, queen, jack of hearts in the south hand.
Okay, well, the difference that makes here in the bidding is that with our Blackwood response.
Is no different.
Our key card response.
Yes, is correct, right.
Okay, if we could now go down to the play. The play is going to, okay, the analysis of the hand. Might as well go back up to the hand then. Sorry. Counting losers in the hand, from the south hand, you've got 1 loser in spades, no losers in hearts, no losers in diamonds, and you've got a loser in the form of the 4th club. Now, in theory, you could trump that 4th club because you only have 3 clubs in the north hand, but you're going to want to draw your trumps first so you don't get a club trumped before you've trumped your loser. And if you draw trumps first, you're not going to have any trumps left in the north hand. So you can forget about trumping that loser. You've got 2 losers and you've got virtually no way to get rid of them. Analyzing it from the north hand, you have 4 losers in spades. You have no losers in hearts, no losers in diamonds, and no losers in clubs. So if you make the south hand the dummy, you can look to trump 3 of your 4 spade losers because you only have a singleton spade in south. Hence, you do your reverse, say your dummy reversal on the hand. And then we go into the play. And the play is exactly the same as the play of her example 3, but for one thing. In example 3, in her 5-card heart suit, 4 of the 5 hearts are high cards. So she starts roughing high and going through her sequence of roughing back and forth in the example. When she gets to the last one, she's roughing with the 9 of hearts, which is still high, and there's no issues. In this case, however, and keep in mind that that last spade is roughed before you draw the other side's last trump. In this case, however, the 6 would be of hearts would be your remaining trump, and the other side's remaining 1 trump is going to be higher than your 6. So you can't follow the exact sequence of play laid out in example 3. Instead, when you rough your very first spade, which is going to be on the second round of the suit, they, as I recall, they led a spade, you'll lose that. They lead another spade, which you then rough, and this time you'll rough it low. You'll rough it with the 5, hoping that they're not going to yet be ready to over rough you. And apart from that, you follow the sequence of play in our example 3.
Okay, so thank you, Chuck. You did a great job. I'm the one who messed up. So the example there should be King, Queen, Jack. I apologize. You did a great job. I would like to do more of this type of interaction. Let's see, Preston, you have your hand up. No. Okay, so I think I'm through. Next week, we will start Lebensaal. You all waiting for that. So let me go ahead and stop share. And I need to go back. How do I go back? I need to stop record. I get back to
Yeah.
share.
There you go.
Okay, sorry, people. All right, I stop recording.